Hello everyone. Today we are doing an old-fashioned haul. I wanted to do a little bit of a fashion haul and show you all the things that I picked up basically for the holidays, really. And in doing so, I have a few new things to show you. But first I want to mention, I was going back and forth about whether I wanted to do this haul or not because obviously there is such tragedy with everything that's going on in California and LA with the wildfires. And I felt it would be a little sensitive to do a haul about fashion and jewelry and things without at least acknowledging that there are people who have lost everything in these fires. If my house was gone and everything in it was gone, I would be absolutely devastated. And it's just, the whole process is horrific. But at the same time, I know a lot of you, and I know this because you've told me directly, come to my channel and others for an escape from the everyday things. So what I've decided to do is go ahead and do the haul and talk about things that I picked up and show them to you. But also, I'm going to put up a couple of groups, charities that you can donate to if you so choose. So if there's any, groups that you want to contribute your time, money, energy to, I'll make sure they're here. And then we'll go ahead and talk about my haul. Okay, so first of all, you're probably noticing the jewelry that I'm wearing. This is a set that I have spent years trying to put together. This is a gorgeous pave leopard set. So here's the earrings. And yes, these are clip-ons. I might actually have these switched over to pierced. When you do that, by the way, if you buy vintage jewelry and you have it, all the vintage jewelry basically is clip-on. If you have it changed to pierced by a jeweler, you do, I don't want to say ruin, but it's no longer considered a true vintage piece because you've changed the nature of the piece. But if you intend to keep it, it doesn't matter, right? Because if you're keeping it, you're never going to sell it anyway. But if you are somebody who collects jewelry and then you're thinking about selling it, don't do that. Because you'll drastically lower the value of the piece. But if, like me, you collect them to wear them, I might change these into pierce. But these are pave leopard. And then, of course, you have the necklace, which is the piece that I've been waiting the most for, and the bracelet. And the great thing about these pieces is that there's a little hinge on all of them. There's a hinge on the necklace as well. And so it's easier to put on than a regular cuff because a regular cuff, is tight and sometimes it's difficult to get on. But these have a hinge on them. So you can literally move the hinge a little bit and then put it on over my sweater that I have on today. I'll put it on over my sweater so you guys can see. Now this sweater's a little too loose to look good, but you'll get the idea. Over a sweater piece. Now again, this is a little too big, but if you had a very tight piece, it would look great. Actually, it looks good like that as long as you don't see the back of it. These pieces are, I don't know how old they are, to be honest with you. They're all Kenneth J. Lane. They're beautiful pieces and I absolutely love them. And I got them separately. I did not get them all at the same time, but I did get them from the same person. And these are from Kimono Dragon. And she is a vintage costume jewelry site person out of New York, and she has the most beautiful pieces. When I did my New York blog way back, I actually was at her booth and I mentioned when I was at her booth, she's one of the best costume jewelry people out there. She has great stuff and very reasonable prices for what she has. And, if she does lives on Instagram and she has posts, and you should definitely check her out because she's absolutely lovely. And her pieces are just like this necklace I have been looking for the longest time. And I'm just thrilled to have it. So I'm very, very excited. And the fact that I got the earrings and the bracelet, I just can't even, I can't. I'm just Absolutely, absolutely thrilled. So I wanted to mention those pieces first before we got into everything else. So I have some clothing, I have some shoes, and a couple other pieces of jewelry that I'll talk about. And I'll tell you, like, all of these things were on sale. None of these things were full price, except for one thing. And that one thing is a very special unboxing, and I will do that at the end, and I will give you the story that goes with it. So first we'll do the clothing. So I posted something on Instagram about the Nordstrom sale, and I've talked about Nordstrom end of the year sales a couple of times. If you haven't taken advantage of it this year, it is still going on, but a lot of the pieces are gone. So I'll just say, like, it's a little late. But if you haven't taken advantage of it this year, the good news is there'll be another one next year. At the end of every year, so calendar year, end of December, beginning of January, until the end of January, really, they have the designer sale. They have other clothes, like they have regular clothes. They have other clothes as well, and shoes, but they have a designer sale specifically, like where all the designer pieces go on sale. And there's a Brunello Cucinelli sweater that I really, really want. I showed you pictures of it when I did a Boston vlog thing, how many months ago. It was originally like $5,000 and now it's $1,900. I have not picked it up. I can't bring myself to spend $1,900 on a sweater. I wish I could because I love it, but it's still just a little too much for me. So I haven't picked it up. If it goes on sale further, I would buy it, but I don't think it's going to because it's Brunello and I get it. But Lafayette did have my favorite cashmere sweaters on sale. I did post about these and they came in 4 shades this year. They have like core shades like black and cream and I don't remember what the other one is, but the 4 shades this year were a yellow. Buttery yellow is going to be very big next year, guys. I do not look good in buttery yellow. There was a wood, which is like a cool brown. There was I think it's called camel melange or something, which is like a warmer tan and white cream. There was a light gray. I wanted the light gray, the tan, and the wood. I wanted all 3. But they sold out very, very quickly when they went on sale for obvious reasons. They were like 60% off. So I was able, and I'll show pictures of me wearing these. I was able to pick up the wood. This is the wood shade. I'll just like, so you can see the shade. And these sweaters, these are 100% cashmere. They run it for $1,000. And I got this one for $350. $350. And then I got the camel, which is like if you see the shade, there's like little pieces of like cream and white in it. So yes, they're definitely different shades. The gray, they did have, but they only had it in a large and an extra small. I'm a size medium. So I'm hoping it comes back in the medium so I can buy it. If it doesn't, then I just missed out on it this year and hopefully I'll be able to pick up like something like it in coming years. Sometimes you can see them, like Lafayette has an outlet. I mean, you know, but if I miss out on it, I miss out on it. But I'm not somebody who's going to spend $1,000 for these sweaters, although I absolutely love them. The cut is perfect for me. Like it fits me perfectly. It lays perfectly. It's 100% cashmere. It's gorgeous. And it looks good at a corporate event, like a work event, but it's also casual. Literally, it's my favorite cashmere sweater. And I won't spend $1,000, but $350. I will do that because I've had these for years and I have them in like so many colors. I have them in a green, a blue, a dark brown, I have them in a ton of colors. So now I have like 7 of them. I don't even know. I've lost count of how many of these I have, but I keep very good care of them and I hope to have them forever. So I'll make sure the links are below. If there are any, they kind of have been going in and out of stock because people return things. Again, this is going to come, there's a reason I'm mentioning this. This is going to come back this time of year because people got things for the holidays and they're just returning them. And Nordstrom has a very reasonable return policy. So until the end of January and sometimes into February, you can find the item that you want on deep discount because it's come back in stock because of returns. So my suggestion to all of you is put these things on your wish list and make sure you get notified because it'll pop up and then it'll be gone. Like literally, it'll be like there for like an hour and it's, you know, it's out of there. But anyway, so I picked up these 2. I'm very, very happy to have these 2. Hopefully I'll be able to get the gray in the medium. If I can't, I will live. Then there's a piece that my husband actually bought for me when we were in New York for the Anthology of Style pop-up museum. And I did do a video on all of that. But while we were there, you were allowed to shop the back room. And I was like, no, it was enough that we went to the museum and blah, blah, blah. But there was a piece that I had seen Kim talk about, and I wasn't sure if it would fit me. Because although I'm probably like a size 8, 10 size most of the time. I'm short, I'm 5 feet tall, but I am very busty, unfortunately. It's just the way it is. So a lot of times things that are an 8, 10 won't necessarily fit me because I'm very busty. So I was worried that this would not fit me, but I was able to try it on and it did. So my husband got it for me and it is like my favorite thing ever. And again, I'll show you me wearing it. It is super, super thick. Like this is like this teddy material, but it's like lined and it's got like I think it's like flannel on the inside and it's got drawstrings on the outside so you can make it tighter. There are pockets on each side of the pullover. I don't know if it's an anorak or anyway, but it's got the teddy material and of course the Christian Dior. But under this Christian Dior flap is a pocket. So you can put all kinds of stuff in there. It's got the 3/4 zip and it's got a hood. I love this thing so much. It's so beautiful. And I mean, to be honest, I would never be able to afford a Dior ready to wear piece like in the store. I think this retails, you know what, I'm gonna have to look, but I've never seen one exactly like this, but I think these types of things retail for like $6,000, $7,000, like some insane amount of money. The Christian Dior pieces, like Christian Dior ready to wear, in my opinion. I mean, I like it, I really do, but I'm like, really? It's, you're that much? That seems like a lot. Although now that Blazy's going over there, maybe I'll find pieces that I have to have, which would be bad. I'm looking for a size. I don't see a size on this. Oh, it's on the side. Okay, so the size of this one is, it has no size. It's a medium. So it's a medium. Yeah, and originally, yeah, so it's a medium. And the price on here from Anthology of Style was originally $3,400. We did not get it for that. It had been marked down. I promise, it had been marked down. But it was still very, very expensive, and my husband bought it for me, and I'm absolutely thrilled to have it, and you will see me in some pictures with this because, now, the thing is about this piece, do not buy this if you live, or anything like it, if you live in, like, Arizona. It is warm. Like, if you wore this out, I wore this outside when we had the day that it was, like, 1 degree, and I was actually very comfortable. Like, I wasn't even cold. I was like, oh, I feel fine. It's that warm. So, but if you live in a cold climate, this thing is like the best thing ever. And the hood just killed me. Anyway, so I did want to show you this because I'm absolutely like obsessed with it. Okay, then I got this hat. And this hat is from Alan. It's Bilzerian. I think it's Bilzerian, which is a place here in Massachusetts, and I will give you any other details that I have. But it is 81% wool and 19% nylon. It's called a Tony or Ione. I can't really tell what that says. It's like, no, well, I don't know if it is either one. Anyway, it's made in Japan, which is interesting. And I just thought it was so cute, I had to have it. I was like, I just love this hat. I don't know why, but this is a vintage. This is a vintage shop that I got this at. And if you're in Boston and you go down to Newbury Street, it's called Castanet. And they have Chanel, by the way. They had a couple Chanel jackets and they had a couple in like a variety of sizes. They always do. But this time when I went, they had sizes 50, all the way to size like 36. So you should check it out if you're ever on Newbury Street in Boston. But isn't this hat adorable? Like, I love this hat. Then I picked up, at the same place, at Castanet, this is a Driefennoten shawl, scarf. And I want to show you the detail on this. Now, I don't know if the camera will actually pick any of this up or enough to show you like how beautiful this is. I know. It is stunning. And I have never seen this piece, so I have no idea what something like this would have originally gone for. Like, I don't have a price to compare it to, so I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna assume that it was relatively expensive at some point. It has like the little fringe on the ends. It's a beautiful wrap. Like, I'm thrilled with it. And it has the Dries Van Noten. It's 80% cashmere and 20% silk. I mean, look at the detailing in this. Like, it's so beautiful. And there's like, I think they're like florals. I'm slightly obsessed with this piece. And this was like $200. And I'm not saying that's not expensive, but for a Dries Van Noten piece with this type of detailing, I mean, and it's 80% cashmere and 20% silk. So the next is also a Dries Van Noten, but this is a modern Dries Van Noten. And I mentioned these on the live that I did with Sophia. We were talking about mermaid and how like mermaid is very in for 2025. And there's these pants and a shirt. Now, I only bought the pants. I didn't buy the shirt. Problem with the pants is that they're way too big. I bought them because they were 75% off. I don't know where I'm going to wear these, but they were 75% off. And I was like, I have to buy them because they're 75% off and I really love them. The thing is that, like I said, they're too big. These are 12 and they're very large. I think my tailor could cut them down. But I think what I'm going to do is there's no 10 available. I'm going to try to see if the 8 works. I think I'm going to buy the 8. And if the 8 doesn't work, then I'm going to get these 12s tailored. They're going to have to be tailored a lot, but you know, so be it. These are the pants. There's a shirt too, guys. There's a shirt too. I wanted to buy the shirt and I didn't. They had one in a 12. And the other size they had is a 2. A 2 is not going to work. The 12 would be too big, but I think that's okay in a shirt because it's like flowy and it'd be fine. But in the pants, I thought like the 12 would be big because I usually wear like an 8 or 10. I thought, oh, the 12 would be big, but they're huge. So anyway, I am working on my health this year. As I've mentioned in previous videos, I've stopped my lobbying, my corporate job, and I'm focused here 100%. And one of the things I have been focused on is losing weight, not because of a number on a scale, but just to be more healthy, to get back to what I used to be, which is healthy, you know, a healthy weight, a lot more muscle, you know, all those things. And I will say, in doing so, I think I have already started losing weight very slowly because the process is slow if you're doing it right. So it's possible that maybe these would have fit me 3 months ago, but anyway. So yeah, I think I'm going to order the 8 and see what happens. Maybe the 8 will fit me. I think I need a 10, but that does not exist currently on the site. So, but I love the pants. I absolutely love them. I'm obsessed. And you'll see pictures of me wearing them, but I had to get them. I had to get them. And originally they were, let me see if I have a price tag on here. I feel like I do. Yeah. They were originally $1,500, $1,555, which I'm sorry, Dries Van Noten, no, that's too expensive. I got them for $350. So I had to get them, right? Like, you had to. 2 pairs of shoes. Again, both on sale, both on sale. These are Chloe's. I got these at Saks, I think. Yeah, I got these at Saks. And they were, I'll make sure the original price is here because I'm not sure what these originally were. I don't think there's a sticker. Nope. it doesn't say what they originally were. But they were very expensive because they're Chloe's. And these are called the Texan Calf Black Calf Suede. And these are the boots, and they basically have this fake faux, I don't know what you want to call it, like flare shaft on them. So that you just see like the little bit of the heel, right? And then the shoe, and then the boot. And the rest of it is this suede. Yeah, aren't those cool? I'll show you, like I said, I'll have pictures of me with them on, but they are adorable. And they have the little C by Chloe in the suede right there. And they are just like the best boots. I love them. And the heel's not too high. I mean, you can see if I pull it's not too high. I mean, it's a decent size heel, but it's nothing, you know, like that I can't walk in. And it has kind of an almond toe. If you're somebody who has very wide feet or you don't like your pinky toe being crushed a little bit, I would not suggest these. These are not things that I would be walking in for days. These are more of like a fun outing where I'm like in an Uber, sitting down for dinner, back in an Uber. But they were really reasonably priced. I'll put the details below. I think I got them for like $300 from like $1,000 or something. So I had to pick them up. They're more of a special occasion, fun, like, but casual kind of thing. Again, I didn't get none of these things were full price except for the last thing, which is a special unboxing, which we will get to. Okay, so these were on sale, which again, never happens, but I was able to get these. And these are Chanel. Can you tell? Can you tell that they're Chanel? Yes, Chanel does have sales. If you have an SA at a Chanel boutique, they will inform you. And I also have a Chanel SA at Saks Boston, and I can give you all those details if you're interested. They contacted me when the sale was going to happen and said, hey, is there anything you're interested in? And I was like, I'm supposed to be scaling back from purchasing, and so no. But then there were these boots, and I have wanted these boots for quite some time, and one of my friends, you know who you are, was gonna go buy them. And I was like, well, shoot, like maybe I should just look and see if they have them in my size. And if they have them in my size, then it's meant to be. And if they don't have them in my size, I'm not gonna track them down. So first of all, they have special, the box, which you saw, they have special dust bags that go with the design. So it's not just the black Chanel. It's literally the same design as the box. So you have the dust bags. And then you have the boots. Now, these are not your everyday kind of boots. Let's put that there, at least for me. They have definitely a pattern to them that says, hi, I have Chanel boots. But there's a platform here which helps me walk in the heel, because otherwise I would never be able to do it, because the heel is quite a bit bigger than my normal heels that I wear nowadays. But they were 40% off. Was it 40% off? Yeah, I think it was 40% off. These were originally $2,000, I think. Yeah, Chanel's lost its mind. But I was able to get them 40% off. So I did end up buying them. Now, I can tell you right now, this is not a purchase that I feel bad about in any way. I'm thrilled that I bought them. I also know I could sell them in a minute if I wanted to for the money that I paid for them. So, which is, I don't know, somehow makes me feel a little bit better. There's a zipper here and there's a little heart on the zipper. These run a little small for Chanel. I always wear a 37, like I always get a 37. The thing about this sale for Chanel is their final sale. You cannot buy shoes in the final sale from Chanel and return them. So I had to be like very clear about what I wanted to do because, yeah, the original price was $21.50. Okay, interesting. I got more than 40% off. But anyway, the original price was $21.50. Chanel, really. Like, let's talk. But I got these in a 7.5. I have never bought Chanel boots in a 7.5 before, and I was really hesitant to do it. The only reason I did it is because my Chanel SA, Jessica, was like, yeah, I think you're gonna want a half size bigger. Like, they're running small for everybody who's bought them. So I trusted her. Thank goodness I did. And I got the 37.5, and yes, in these, a 7.5 was better than the 7. And it's really interesting because I tend to go from a 6.5 to a 7. My foot is like very narrow. So in like Gucci, I'm a 6.5. In Hermes, sometimes I'm a 6.5, sometimes a 7. It depends on the shoe. But I have never been a 7.5 in anything. But in these, I'm a 7.5. So just, if you ever see these shoes and you're interested in them on the secondary market, I've seen some on Vestiaire and a couple other places, I would suggest going up half a size. Another piece I want to show you is this gorgeous bangle set with paste stones. Now, paste is a little bit different. For any of the collectors out there, you know the difference between this and like a crystal. It has a push clasp just like a fine jewelry piece would have, and it's very weighty sterling silver. And this piece snaps right into place like this, is from somebody on Instagram who I follow all the time, and I'll make sure her information is above. And she does lives periodically. There's different lives that she does, but usually on Sundays. You have to follow her to know the schedule. But it's from DSF. I believe it's DSF Vintage Jewelry or just jewelry. I'm not absolutely sure. But they have beautiful pieces, and a lot of times they have like Chanel and Dior vintage pieces. Now, they're not inexpensive. They're whatever the, you know, the price, the going price for those pieces happens to be, which can be quite a lot. But every once in a while, when she does a live, she'll have like special deals for that live. So I always tune into her when she's live to get the pieces that I can get. And this one I had to pick up because it's a beautifully made piece and it's absolutely stunning. Like, and I collect paste jewelry, so I just want to mention her as well. And again, I'll have all these details below so you can shop. Okay guys, it has come to that time, and maybe you've just fast forwarded through all the rest and you wanted to come for this, which I understand. This piece was the hardest item to get that I've ever, well, except for my Kelly bag, which my husband bought for me, and I've wanted a Kelly bag for, I don't know, 40 years, since I was like 12. But this is the most difficult piece that I've ever had sourcing for a, you know, piece that I was looking to buy that was just newly being released. And the process in getting this piece was incredibly complicated, and I'm going to walk you through it. So this is, and I'm not going to show you exactly what it is just yet because I got to build the momentum, guys. Come on, this is got to build it. But this is the Louis Vuitton Murakami collection. There's a piece from this collection. And yes, I only bought one thing because this one thing is ridiculously expensive and I don't have endless amounts of money to buy several pieces from this collection. And it was hard enough just getting this piece from the collection. And I feel incredibly lucky to have gotten this piece, and I'll give you the story. So back in November. So I knew this collection was coming. I mean, anyone who's really like into this world of luxury knew this collection was coming. And back in November, I was like, do I want to pick something up from it? I never picked anything up from the Murakami collection 20 years ago. Not one thing. I don't have anything from that collection. One, because I couldn't afford it. And two, because since then, when I have been able to afford it, it's not really my style. Like, I am more of a quiet luxury person overall. I prefer like the Kelly bag to practically any other design that's out there. So this wasn't really my launch. I knew a lot of people who were interested in it. And one of the people that I have met online, she's a lovely woman, gave the name of her essay to a couple of people at Nordstrom. And this Nordstrom essay has access to the Louis Vuitton. A lot of retailers like Saks, Neiman's, and Nordstrom have it within them a Louis Vuitton or a Chanel or a Fendi or whatever it is. And those stores are wholly owned in and of the other store. And I know that sounded very confusing. What I mean is, if there's a Chanel and a Saks, it's a Chanel. It is paid for by Chanel. The lines are bought by Chanel, and they are basically renting space in a Saks or Nordstrom or Neiman's or whatever it is. They have a mutual relationship. But you are buying from the brand. You are buying from the Chanel or the Louis Vuitton through the Nordstrom, the Neiman's, the Saks. And so he was able to say, you can do pre-orders with me, put down the entire amount for the thing you want, and I will attempt to get them for you when it goes live, whenever it goes live. And again, this is no guarantee that you would get the piece. Louis Vuitton has set it up so that you have to pay the entire amount and you won't even know if you get the piece or not. I understand both sides of this from a Louis Vuitton perspective. I get that many people, I don't know how many, but will say, yes, I'm absolutely going to buy it and put down a piece, like 10% or whatever it is, and then not purchase it, which is a problem because Louis Vuitton or any other brand, right, when they're doing these releases, have a limited amount of stock. And if you say you're going to buy something, you put down 10%, and then you just don't buy it, that creates a huge problem because they've ordered too much, made too much, or people that really wanted it don't get it. You get the gist. So I get from their perspective why they require the entire amount. The flip side of that, though, is if you're spending, and there's people who bought like several bags, if you're spending 10 grand up front for something that you might not even get, and you have to wait months to get it, that can be frustrating. And it's especially frustrating for the SAs that are in the middle. So my SA, this person that I have now become, I hope, friends with, he's a lovely man. His name is Justin. I will make sure all of his information is down below. I've asked him if he's okay with this. So please don't inundate him immediately. Please. He's a very nice guy and really honest and he's excellent with communication. He made sure everyone, understood exactly what was happening in every step of the way. But again, it is not the SA's ability to do really anything other than do the pre-orders for you and make sure the communication's clear and all of those things. It's a lot of work on their part and they don't get anything else for it. It's not like Louis Vuitton is giving them a bonus. It's commission like any other commission that they would get from anything else that they're selling, right? So remember, they put a lot of work into this and there really isn't anything in it for them other than they're good at their jobs. So just keep that in mind. And so we went through the whole process. I put the deposit down December 3rd, very early. It was supposed to launch at the end of December, then it was pushed back, and it was supposed to launch at the beginning of January, and then it was pushed back. And then when it was launched, to be honest, my interpretation of the launch in the United States was not good. It was chaotic. I actually think it was one of the worst launches I've ever seen. Louis Vuitton claims that they did not know it was going to be this popular, that not that many people would buy it. And maybe that's true. I will try to give them the benefit of the doubt, but I don't think that's the case. I think, again, personal opinion, Louis Vuitton did this on purpose to make everybody like, I must get this bag, I must get these shoes, because there are 2 more launches to go. The Cherry Blossom launch is going to be February to March, as in pre-orders and then orders. And then the Cherry launch, I believe, is March, April. So I think they did this to drum up demand. That's my take. I could be wrong. Maybe Louis Vuitton really didn't think it was going to be this big. Maybe. In other parts of the world, my understanding is it wasn't as big. There's other vendors, as in like retailers, that have stock in Canada, Italy, other countries that seem to have some of these pieces. The United States, it was a cluster. Everybody was like, oh my goodness, am I getting something? They weren't sure. The SAs weren't being told. It wasn't the SA's fault. They didn't know. Louis Vuitton was like, oh, we're going to get all of these things, all the pre-orders were going to get filled. And then they were like, oh, we're going to, wait a couple weeks, we'll be able to. And then all of a sudden it was like, you're not getting anything. If it wasn't filled on that first day, it's done. And of course I was disappointed. I was like, I really wanted my bag. That's disappointing. But my response to this was, look, to Justin, I was like, there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, it is the way it is. It's not your fault. It's Louis Vuitton's fault. They're the ones who basically did not make enough for this launch. And also my fault in the sense that I picked a product that is going, I think, was going to be one of the more popular products. If you picked something that not a lot of people wanted, you had a better chance of getting it, right? I picked something that I was pretty sure was going to be pretty high up on the list. My understanding is that I was like the second person to pre-order this item. And really the only person who got this item from Justin's list was the first person. And I was next, but that was it. That's all they had. It was a certain amount of, there's a limited amount. And again, different places got different amounts. If you were in another state, maybe you were able to get it faster. Maybe there was more given to one state than another. Who knows? And there's no transparency, so nobody has any real idea or how much was actually around. So I took it as, you know what, wasn't meant to be. The money will be returned to me. Nordstrom is wonderful that way. That's one of the reasons I ordered from Nordstrom, because instead of going to a Louis Vuitton boutique, because I was like, look, if I don't love it or, there's a problem, I know Nordstrom will make it right, because Nordstrom is that kind of company and I trust them. So I was like, well, I'm not going to get the bag. That's okay. The money will be returned to my account and I'll find something else. It's a bag. And I did a little Instagram clip basically telling everyone, look, I get it. You're frustrated. I was frustrated too. It's upsetting when you don't get what you want, especially if you've been planning on it for a while. But, overall in life, that happens. You don't always get what you want. And in my opinion, again, this is just me, the best way to deal with something like that is to be like, well, it wasn't meant to be. There's obviously something better for me, meant for me. And just go on. And I told Justin how much I appreciated everything he did and that I absolutely loved him and hope to work with him again in the future. But remember what I mentioned earlier on in the video about returns? Not everybody keeps things. And for some reason, don't know why, somebody decided to return the thing they ordered. It was not the first person on the list, on Justin's list. It was somebody else, some other SA's person. And they returned the item that I wanted. And Justin, because he's incredibly good at his job, has a very vast network. And when this person reached out to Justin and said, hey, my person is returning this thing. Do you have anyone on your list? And he's like, yes, I do. The person who's basically second on my list and who wants this thing very badly. And so I believe, again, you might call me naive, you might say this is absolutely silly, but I believe that if you put these positive vibes out into the universe and you treat these things like, well, it is what it is, and you don't get angry and you don't get like mean about it, because I guess a lot of people were very mean to their SAs, which I think, I'm sorry, but there's never a place for that. There just isn't. I think it came back to me in this bag. And yes, it is a bag. I did think about the sneakers. I really thought about the trainers because they were really cute, the black ones. And Cassie Thorpe, who I don't know if I ever mentioned this, but I got to meet her a couple months ago. And she is the nicest person on the planet. Like, she is exactly what she presents online. I know not everybody is what they are online, but she absolutely is. She is lovely and elegant and smart and funny and just like the most amazing person I've ever met. And I'll be honest, this doesn't happen to me very often. I mean, I've spent my life working with literally congressmen and women, presidents. Like, I have met a lot of, quote, famous people, and I've never, ever been awestruck in my life, because I always view it like they're just like you and I. They just happen to be somebody everybody knows. I was fumbling with my words. I was just like, oh my God, it's Cassie. It's Cassie Thorpe. I was so excited to meet her. Anyway, that's not the point. I did ping her about the shoes, and they do seem to run a little bit big. So if you are able to get the Louis Vuitton, the trainers, the Murakamis, they do seem to run a little big. So I was going to pick them up in a 6.5, but then this happened. And I was like, no, I'll just get this, because don't push your luck. And then I should have like music. Da, 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 da. This is the Speedy, the black Speedy 30. And I I cannot put into words how happy I am to have it. Thank you, Justin. Honestly, like I'm thrilled to have it. Look, I know it's just a bag, okay? I get that. But it's been there are people who have, like I talked about at the beginning, there are people who are losing their entire homes. So, but I've had a rough year with my health and everything all the changes that I've made, and many of them because I chose to do them. But change is difficult. And this just, I don't know, somehow made me feel like I made the right decision somehow. I don't know. I can't really explain it. The reason that I never picked up the Murakami collection in the beginning, any of the Speedies, I don't own a Speedy at all. Like I've never had a Speedy, was because the leather, I think it's called vachetta. I'm not sure. Like Louis Vuitton is not I'll be honest, I'm not an expert in any way on this. So tell me when I'm wrong. Is like a tan color. And I have a little, it's definitely not, real OCD. And I'm aware that, so I'm trying to be careful of how I say it, but I do have a thing about like a tan and black together. I also don't like my food to touch. I get it, it's a thing. But the point is, this is all black. So the leather is black. The strap that came, you can take this off. This is adjustable. This is a piece that comes inside the bag. This is a strap that you can use, or you can just use the handles. In the original, it's tan. And so this is all tan, and then this is black or white or whatever you get, but I wanted the black one. This is all black. And that's why I liked this one so much more and wanted this. Plus, the hardware is silver. Now, I know not everybody likes silver, but I am a silver girl. I like cool metals. And so the lock with the little bow, sorry, with the little bow is silver. And I'm so happy. Okay. And then the hoops are silver, the add-on straps are silver. And so it's all silver hardware and then black leather. And then the inside of this thing is voluminous. Now this is 30, so this is like quite a bit bigger. And I know a lot of people, there was a nano Speedy. I wasn't interested in that at all. I don't understand really what you do with that. I think maybe you put keys in it. I don't know. But this size is perfect for me. It's a bigger size. It's definitely bigger. It's a 30. So I know a lot of people like a 25 size, I guess, is probably like the one that you would put like crossbody. And now that I have this bag, I am a little obsessed with the Speedies. I don't have an Alma either, which I really want. So I am going to talk to Justin about the cherry blossom launch. I'm not interested in the cherries, but the cherry blossoms do look pretty. Pink are not my thing, but because I worked in DC for so long, cherry blossoms are kind of known in DC as a thing because the Japanese sent cherry blossoms to DC and they're planted everywhere and they look beautiful. So I might pick up something from the cherry blossom collection if I'm lucky, and maybe an Alma, maybe a smaller Speedy if they have like a 25. But I love this. Or maybe I won't get anything at all because I am incredibly happy to have this and I don't want to sound greedy. So this is the bag. If you have any questions, there's also silver on the corners to keep it the leather. I know. I'm just so happy to have this. And honestly, first of all, if I didn't have Justin, I wouldn't have this. Whoever the person was that returned it, thank you for not liking it. I wouldn't have this bag if it wasn't for all of you, because I wouldn't have this channel, and I don't think I would have purchased this because I wouldn't have been paying as much attention to the fact that it was launching. Yeah, I'm really, really thrilled. If I could ever get another piece of this, guys, I would do a giveaway for you, but of a Murakami piece, but I don't think there's any chance of me getting anything because it was just by, frankly, karma, in my opinion, and luck, and working with Justin that I was able to get this. So again, Justin's information is all down below. Please remember though, for any launch, the essays can only do so much. It's up to the brand and how they do the launch. I am not thrilled with Louis Vuitton and how they did this. If they really did miscalculate, then this is the first time I've ever ordered from Louis Vuitton, like this kind of a launch. I do have a Capucine bag, but I just went and bought that bag. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, and I am going to try to get something from the Cherry Blossom collection just to see how it goes. If they do the same thing for the Cherry Blossom, after going through all of this, my opinion may change. In fact, it will change because they know better now and they should change it. And I hope they do if Louis Vuitton ever watches this. So, yeah. If you have any questions about how to contact Justin or my process in going through this or my suggestions for doing the next 2 launches, if you're interested, and you know what I think will be the most popular pieces, or if you want me to do a video on that, I will. I absolutely would be happy to do that. I think there's certain pieces that will be more popular and will have more likelihood of selling out from this process. Like I now know, okay, those are the ones that sold out quickly. And happy to talk to you guys about any of that. And I'll make sure Justin's information is below. And again, I'm just going to stare at this bag for a while now. And thank you so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. And I hope to see you in another video really soon.